Hey everyone, this is Sean Alexander with Alexander & Sons Decks, and today we're going to be doing a front porch railing makeover. As you can see, the railings here are a little worse for the wear. Balusters are popping off, the railings pulling away from the posts. Posts need paint. We're just going to give this whole thing a makeover, going to replace it with black aluminum balusters by Deckorators. Gonna rebuild the top and bottom rails. Just give this thing a fresh, new, clean look. Gonna caulk everything, paint everything. It's gonna look great. As with most jobs, the first step here is demo. Gonna be removing the top and bottom rails, the balusters, the bottom rail posts. Sometimes the best method for removing a rail post is the front kick. Only thing that's going to be left are the porch posts. A few more kicks and it'll be out of there. The next step is to come in with a orbital sander, sand smooth the areas that I had to remove the old caulk and paint, get it all prepped for new paint. Just coming in with a brush to cut in the new paint, gonna come back behind with a roller and paint all the posts to match the new rails. Last thing I'm going to do here on day one is take my post hole diggers and dig out a little bit where the new posts are going to be going so that I can backfill with a little bit of concrete to try to sturdy them up a little bit. Alright, day two, getting my bottom stair posts cut. Going to be installing them in the holes that I dug out the day before. Cutting a 50-degree angle on the bottom to make kind of a spike so that it'll help set them in the ground. Just hammering it in with my mini sledge. I'm going to be backfilling with concrete. Now it's time to start building the rails themselves. After cutting the horizontal rail pieces, I'll start laying out the baluster connectors. I use a block that's 4.5 inches wide to help me space the balusters 4.5 inches on center, which allows for a 4-inch gap between each baluster. Here I'm pre-drilling for the baluster connectors, which isn't 100% necessary, but it does help get them perfectly lined up. Now that all the baluster connectors are attached, it's time to start connecting the 2x2 and 2x4 pieces. For the bottom rail, I always send the screws in underneath so that there's no visible screw heads. Now that the top and bottom rail sections are built, it's time to install them. I cut spacer blocks to give me a level rail and also to make sure that I have a 36-inch top rail. It can be a little tricky installing the top rail when you're working by yourself. Sometimes it's best to start with one side and work your way along, using the opposing force of the other rail posts to hold the top rail up as you work your way down. The stair connectors can be a little tricky to install because they like to travel a little bit as you screw them in. So it's best to line them up about a 1/4 inch behind where you want them to land as you drive the screw in. After doing a test fit with my top rail, I made a mark on my post to know where to cut it to length. The last step on this job is to caulk all the screw holes and cracks and seams, and then come behind everything with a coat of touch-up paint. The finishing touches come in the way of new house numbers and solar light post caps. All in all, this project came out great, and the homeowner was very pleased.